Hello, my name is Mark, and welcome to some more continuing education. Today, I'm going to be going over
variable relationships.
This is for the algebra and functions math portion of the IBEW Aptitude Test. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed, and make sure to check out my full playlists, my many playlists of videos curated just for you. And also make sure to check out all the comments because you will find out that many people have passed the aptitude test using my
Free
course. Check this one out. Yeah, make sure you check out everything on my channel. I offer many videos going over several topics that may show up on the aptitude test, as well as I do play video games on this channel. This channel is rooted in video games, and that's what I like to do for fun. So give it a shot, give it a try. It doesn't hurt to check it out. Let's start the video. Variable relationships. So what do you need to know? The general skill these problems are testing is how does one variable change when another variable changes? Now, here are two examples of questions that may come up on the test. And I know what you're thinking.
Wow, that's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them.
So this one right here, 2f equaling g minus 4, which of the following statements is true? And you have these answer choices here. This question is an example of a if and then statement, right? So look at right here. So let me bring out my marker, and we have a if and then. So if f changes, or when f changes, well, then what happens to g? And in this case, we have to find out what happens and test that result against these answer choices. But that's what's happening. We have to identify the if, and then the then, and then the if, and then the then, and then the if, and then the then. Okay? So I have here, this one is more about testing statements and finding which one is true. Right? Finding a solution or finding the solution and then testing them against several answer choices. And then you have this one right here. R equals, and all this, I do not want to say it. But you have all this. You have this equation here. And it asks where t is held constant, and constant just means we pick a number and just leave it alone, and then solve the equation. And then it says here, as s changes, what happens to r? So again, this is kind of like an if and then statement. So as s increases, r increases, right? So we have to find out which one is true and which one is false. We have to figure out what is really happening. And the only way to do that is to, one, pick a constant, solve for the constant, and then once our expression is simplified, then we pick numbers,
easy numbers,
and see what happens when we put numbers for s and how they affect r in this case. Okay? So those are the type of two questions that you will see on the test. The if and then statements and the relationship questions. The relationship questions, they're kind of the same. You know, I don't want to say they're directly the same. They're more like cousins. Okay? So next slide, we have the inequality symbols. We have less than or equal to, greater than, and greater than or equal to. Take a screenshot because you will need to remember these for the test. They may come up. The questions may come up as word format or in word format, or they may come like this. Instead of saying x is less than or equal to in word format, they'll just put this right here. Okay, so make sure you have this memorized. This part, super important. Okay. Next slide. And number one tip to follow when you are solving these expressions, or not solving the expressions, simplifying the expressions or solving the equations, is
Pick easy numbers.
all the time. Okay. If it says x is greater than 6, if x is greater than 6, don't pick like 17. Okay. X greater than 6, choose 7. Okay. Or choose 10. Choose one of the easy numbers. Okay. If it says if x is less than 6, choose 5 or choose 0. And then plug it into the equation and see what happens. Okay? Always choose easy numbers. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our first question. So, given the equation y equals 2x plus 4, which of the following statements is true? We could see here, looking at our answer choices, we see that this is a if and then statement, right? If, then. If x, if x, if x, if x, and then y, then y, then y, right? So how does x affect y? Right? So all we have to do is plug in easy numbers for each of the statements. We're going to be testing each statement. So if x is greater than 0, and this is an easy equation, okay? This one is super easy, okay? For one, we have if x, okay? They might throw you off and say if y, what happens to x? But it's kind of the same thing, okay? You're just going to be testing numbers. That's it. Once you figure out how to test numbers, this will all click in your head, okay? If x is greater than 0, x greater than 0. So this is what it means in the inequality symbols, x greater than 0. Okay, let's choose a number greater than 0. If x is greater than 0, let's choose x equaling 1. Okay, positive 1. Then y is negative. Okay, let's go ahead and plug that in. So y equals, and we chose x equaling 1, 2, and then I'm going to substitute the x for a 1, plus 4. I get y equaling 2 plus 4 equaling 6. Is that negative? No, that is not negative. So we could cross that out. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's go ahead and choose or look at answer choice B. If x is less than 0, so less than 0, right? Less than, oops. Did I write the inequality sign right the last time? I'm not sure. But let's choose less than, okay? X is less than 0. I hope I did. I feel like I messed up on the greater than. This is x greater than, okay, greater than 0. Okay, this one is less than. I just forgot, and I'll feel bad if I messed it up. X is less than 0. If x is less than 0. So we're going to choose x equaling negative 1. Okay, then y is greater than 4. Greater than 4. Let's see. Okay, y equals 2 negative 1 plus 4. We get y equals negative 2 plus 4. And then we get y equals, what is negative 2 combined with 4? Basic algebra here. Positive 2. Is it greater than 4? No. So we can cross this answer out. You see where I'm going with this? All you have to do is pick easy numbers, okay? You'll find out too, once I get to the harder questions, it's all about just reading the problem. Okay, so I am on answer choice C. So let's go ahead and work this one out. So I have if x is greater than 2, x greater than 2, x greater than 2, and I'm going to choose an easy number, and I'm going to say x is equaling to 3. Then y is less than 8. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Okay, 2, 3 plus 4, and I get equals y equals 6 plus 4, and I get y equaling 10. Is this number is positive 10 less than positive 8? No, it is not. It is in fact greater. So, boom, cross that out. It looks like I underlined it. Cross that out. And then we have the last one here. And I made it D by design because I wanted to work out all of the answer choices for you. So I have if x is greater than 0, y is greater than 4. X greater than 0. Okay? X equaling 1. All right? And then let's go ahead and plug that back in. And I think we did this equation for A. So I am going to just do it over again. And it will be greater than 4. Okay? 2 plus 4, y equaling 6. And this is in fact greater than 4. Answer choice D is the correct answer. Okay? You see what I'm doing here? All I'm doing is identifying what each statement is asking, plugging in an easy number, and then solving, and then testing it against the answer choice. Okay? This is actually easier than graphing. Okay? Variable relationships. They are annoying though. Okay? These were my bane when I was taking the tests. It was very difficult for me to grasp this concept, but not for you. Not for you, because you are testing with me. Okay, here we go. Question number 2. Given the equation y equals 3x plus 2. Okay, as x increases, what happens to y? Okay, for this, all you have to do is, again, plug in easy numbers. This is a relationship question. So we just have to increase x. Okay, and I do want to point out, this will probably not be on the test. This is too easy. Okay, but I want you to grasp this concept. So I am going to choose x equaling 1. Okay, because we want to choose numbers that will increase, right? So we'll choose x equaling 1, x equaling 2, x equaling 3. We'll even go x equaling 4. But maybe not, because you'll see the pattern. So y is equal to 3, 1 plus 2. Y is equal to 3 plus 2. And then y is equal to 5. Okay? Now we'll do x equaling 2. And then we'll go y is equaling to 3 times 2 plus 2. Y is equal to 6 plus 2, and then y is equal to 8. What is the relationship between 5 and 8? Well, it increased. Okay? So let's go ahead and do x equaling 3. So y is equal to 3 times 3 plus 2. Y is equal to 9 plus 2, and then y is equal to 11. 5, 8, 11. Do we see the pattern here? Well, I hope you do, because y is increasing as x is increasing, or vice versa. As x increases, y increases. Okay? And that is answer choice A. Easy, super easy concept to grasp. Okay? These ones should be easy, no problem. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and go on to question number 3. We have a hard if and then statement. So what we want to do now, the first thing we want to do before we even start testing the answer choices is we want to simplify. We want to simplify this equation. Okay, so we have 4x minus 3y equaling 18. Well, we are testing for x. First, we're testing for x because if we look at the answer choices, we are also testing y. So if y, then what happens to x, right? If y, what happens to x? If y, what happens to x? And the first two is if x, then what happens to y? So what I'm going to do here first, what I would do first is I would put everything into y terms, or just rearrange the equation to where we isolate y on one side. So let's go ahead and start, and I have 4x minus 3y equaling 18. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is minus 4x to both sides, canceling out the 4x right here on this side, leaving me with negative 3y equaling 18 minus 4x. I would actually switch that around, but it doesn't matter because this will be a positive number. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 3, and negative 3. So that gives me y equals 4 over 3. And what is 18 divided by 3? That is 6. So I cannot forget this x, okay? I cannot forget this x that goes right here. And we said that it was negative 6. So I'm left with y equals 4x over 3 minus 6. So we have our equation, okay? And I'm just going to write it neater like this. Y equals 4 over 3x minus 6. So I can start plugging in numbers. All right, so let's go ahead and try answer choice A. Let's go read it. Let's read it together. If x is greater than 6, then y is less than 2. So greater than 6, x greater than 6. Let's choose x equaling 7. Okay, this is our equation right here. Y equals 4 over 3x minus 6. And I am going to erase everything so we have room to write out the problem. Okay, perfect. So we said that x is equaling to 7. So let's go ahead and try it out. Y equals 4 over 3, 7 minus 6. And then I get y is equal to 28 over 3 minus 6. And then I am going to get a really crappy number. But how many times can 3 go into 28? And I believe that is 9 times. So I get y is equal to 9, and then that's 27. So 1 over 3 minus 6. And then 9 minus 6, y is equal to 3 1/3. That is our y. And is this less than 2? No, it is not less than 2. So answer choice A is incorrect. Okay, let's go ahead and work with answer choice B now. It says here x is less than 0. If x is less than 0. So x less than 0, I'm going to choose x equaling negative 1. So let's go ahead and work that out. So I have here y equals 4 over 3, and then I'm going to put negative 1 for x minus 6. And then I get y equals negative 4 over 3 minus 6. And then just working this out, right? So I have if x is less than 0, then y is less than negative 6. I don't have to fully solve this because I know that this number right here will make this number more or less than negative 6 because this is a negative number. So in fact, this answer choice is correct. And if I'm taking the test, I wouldn't go and test the other statements. But for the sake of this video, we're about to do it. So let's go ahead and test answer choice C. So answer choice C says if y is greater than 2. So let me choose a number greater than 2. Y is greater than 2. Okay? And this is our equation here. Now, I can rearrange the equation for x. I could do x equals and then whatever the equation is. But I'm just going to leave the equation as is in y terms and just plug in y. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for a number greater than 2, and I'm going to choose y is equal to 3. Okay, so I have 3 equals 4 over 3x minus 6. And then what should we do here? We should add positive 6 to both sides, giving us 9 equals 4 over 3x. And then how can we get rid of this fraction? Well, I could multiply both sides by 3. And folks, what I am doing here is basic algebra. You should know how to do this, okay? So 3 times 9 is 27. And if you do not know how to do this, check out my video where I go over the 20 tips you should know for the IBEW Aptitude Test and the GAN Aptitude. So 3 times 9 is 27, equaling 4, and then x on this side. And I'm going to divide by 4. And how many times can 4 go into 27? That is 6. So then 6 times 4 is 24, and then 27 minus 24 is 3. So I have 6 3/4. And I didn't have to do that whole calculation, okay? This is equaling x, okay? I didn't have to do that because I know just from looking at this number or this part, x is negative. It's in fact not negative. It's positive, okay? So that makes answer choice C incorrect. So let's go ahead and move on to D. Okay, it says here, if y is less than -6, then x is positive. So we're going to choose a value, right, that is less than -6. Okay, less than -6. I'm going to say that y is equal to -7. Okay, I'm just choosing a number above or below, right? Above or below the number that they give us. Okay, so y is equal to -7. Actually, you know what? Like I said in the very beginning of the video, I'm going to choose y equals -10. Okay, -10 should be easy. It should be. It might not be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write it down in the equation. 4 over 3 and then x minus 6. And I'm going to go plus 6, and I'm trying to find out if x is positive or negative. So I have -4 is equal to 4/3 x, and then I'm going to multiply by 3 again, multiply by 3. That's going to give me -12 is equal to 4x. And I could stop right here, because I know when I divide by 4, it's going to give me a negative number because this is negative. A negative divided by a positive will give me a negative number, right? Divide by 4, x is equal to -3. And that is in fact negative and not positive. So I am going to take that answer choice out. So again, answer choice B is the solution for question 3. Okay. Question number 4. Given the equation, m equals all this, okay, and we have here, if q is held constant and q is greater than 3, what happens to m as p increases? Now, the equation is already written in a way that I want it to be written because m is isolated, and we want to know what happens to p when we increase it, or I'm sorry, what happens to m as we increase p. Now, Q doesn't really matter because all we need to do is make Q greater than 3, a number greater than 3. And then once we do that, we simplify, getting rid of Q, and then that leaves us with two variables being M and P. And then we just have to choose, right, that's the word. We have to choose numbers that increase in value to see what happens to M. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to just choose Q greater than 3. I'm going to choose Q equaling 4. Okay, keep it simple, guys. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. M is equal to P plus 6, and then Q we said was 4 minus 3, all this, and then square root 4. Okay, know your square roots, guys. Okay, know them. Know your perfect squares. Okay, so then we have M equals P plus 6, and then 4 minus 3 is 1, and then divide by 2, or square root of 4 is 2. Okay, and then we have M is equal to P plus 6, all this, divide by 2. And I could go further. Okay, I could go further and say M is equal to P over 2 plus, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3. But I think I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, because I like this. It's a little cleaner when I am going to substitute the values for P. So I'm actually going to use just this. I'll write both of them down, but I will only be using M equals P plus 6 over 2. Okay, I'm going to write that over here on the side for myself. M equals P plus 6 over 2. Okay, and then we also have M is equal to, and this is the fully simplified version, P over 2, and then plus 3. Okay, let's go ahead and erase everything, and let's go test some numbers. I'm going to choose P is equal to 1. Okay, then I have M equals 1 plus 6 over 2. M is equal to 7 over 2, which equals 3.5. Okay, and then I'm going to choose M or P is equaling to 2, which gives me M equals 2 plus 6 over 2. M is equal to 8 over 2 equaling 4. What happened? Well, what happened was we increased by 0.5 or 1/2, 3.5 to 4. Okay, just for the sake of the video, I am going to do in rainbow color. I'm going to do P is equal to 3, and then I will do M equals 3 plus 6. And I like to put the parentheses here. You don't have to, okay? And that's M equals 9 over 2, which equals 4.5, okay? It increases by 0.5 as we increase P. M increases, okay? So that gives us answer choice C, okay? As P increases from 1, 2, and 3, M increases to as well from 3.5, 4, and 4.5. Okay? We're tracking? We're tracking. We know how to attack these problems, and we know to pick easy numbers. Okay? That's just number one. Pick easy numbers. All right? Don't trip yourself up with hard numbers. All right? And no basic arithmetic. That's really it. Question number 5. All right, we know what to do here, right? Okay, this is just a harder if-then statement, but it's the same, okay? And then there's a fraction to throw you off a little bit, okay? But that's okay, we got this. So, step 1, what we're going to do is simplify. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this negative 5 to the other side. I want to isolate the y, okay? So let me just do everything over here. 3x plus 6 divide by 2 equals y minus 5. And I'm going to add 5 to both sides, okay? Adding 5 to both sides gives me 3x plus 6 divided by 2 plus 5. And then I'm going to put this y over here, okay? Y equals 3x plus 6 divided by 2 plus 5. Now, what I'm going to do is simplify further because this right here could be written like this. Y is equal to 3x divided by 2 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 5. Okay? And that gives me y equals 3 over 2x plus 3, because 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then plus 5. Now what's 3 plus 5? That's 8. So our final simplified equation is y is equal to 3 halves x plus 8. Okay, this is our simplified equation that we will be working with. So I'm going to write it over here. Y is equal to 3 halves x plus 8. And then I'm going to test each answer choice. I am going to test each answer choice. You know, I had a comment of somebody telling me about me getting cotton mouth while recording. Well, it's kind of hard not to get cotton mouth because all I'm doing is talking. When I'm playing video games, right, I'm kind of talking, but for the most part, I'm locking in and then providing commentary. With these algebra and functions and these math education videos, I'm just nonstop talking. It's a lecture for like an hour plus. And then when I'm doing the practice tests, it's like 2 hours of nonstop talking. So bear with me, guys. I got a little self-conscious with that comment, but you know what? I'm like, dude, I'm going to be talking. I'm going to get cotton mouth. I'm already getting cotton mouth just talking about nothing. All right. So this is our equation here. Okay. And then I have set it to isolate y because our first two statements here are to see what happens to x or what happens to y when we change x, right? If x, then y. If x, then y. And then the last two statements are if y, then x. You can use the same equation, okay? But if I put if y first, I would just manipulated the equation in terms of x. Can you do that? Let me just try that. Because I can do y equals 3 halves x plus 8, okay? Anyone could do that. That's easy. But let me just see if I could do it in the opposite way, okay? So I have 3x plus 6 over 2 equals y minus 5. Now I want to isolate the x, okay? This is going to give me 3x over 2 plus 3 equals y minus 5 minus 3 minus 3. That's going to give me 3 halves x equals y minus 8. And then I'm going to multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. That is going to give me x. Oh, I'm sorry. That's going to give me 3x equals 2y minus 16, and then divide by 3, divide everything by 3. That is freaking ugly. But let's see what happens. I'm very curious to see if I could get the answer like this. So my equation in terms of x is 2y minus 16 over 3. I just want to see what happens, okay? I might not even include this in the video if it's messed up, okay? I want to prove that you could use you could arrange the equation to x and y to prove or disprove each answer choice. And I am going to start with answer choice A. Okay, just to start it, just to test it out. So if x is greater than 0, x greater than 0, I'm going to choose x equaling 1, then y is less than 5. Okay, so x, I'm going to make that as 1. So 1 equals 2y minus 16 over 3. And that's going to give me, well, first I want to multiply by 3, multiply by 3. That's going to give me 3 equals 2y minus 16 plus 16 plus 16. That's going to give me 19 equals 2y. Divide by 2, divide by 2. That equals 9.5. Y is equal to 9.5. Is 9.5 less than 5? No, it is not. So I will cross this answer choice out. Okay, next. I know what the answer is. I'm just testing these out to just give it a shot. So I'm going to go with answer choice D, and I'm going to start with this one. If y is less than 0, or I'm sorry, that says y less than 2. Y is less than 2. I'm going to say y is equal, what's less than 2? Y equaling 0. All right, let's do it. So x equaling 2, 0, that is a 0, minus 16 over 3. That's going to give us x equaling 0 minus 16 over 3. X is equal to negative 16 divided by 3. And is x greater than 0? Well, no, because this is going to be a negative number. So this is wrong. Greater than 0? No, this will not be greater than 0. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of answer choice D. So now let's go ahead and work out answer choice B. Is that right or is it wrong? Let's find out. Okay, if x is less than negative 2, then y is less than 5. Okay, less than negative 2. X less than negative 2. I'm going to say x is negative 3. Okay, x is equaling to negative 3. So negative 3 equals 2y minus 16 over 3. Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3, and this is going to give me negative 9 equals 2y minus 16 plus 16 plus 16. That's going to give me 7. Positive 7 equals 2y. Divide by 2, divide by 2. That's going to give me y is equal to, what is that? 3.5. And does that make y less than 5? Or is 3.5 less than 5? Well, yes. Yes, that is correct. So B is the correct answer. And there I have proved that you could set the equation to x equals and then y equals. And just for the sake of the video, and no, I'm not going to work it out. You know why? Because my step-by-step directions, that part of the presentation of the video will show me setting the equation to isolate y. Okay? So I won't do that. I won't do that. I'm going to move on to question number 6. And it's not even an hour and my nose is starting to itch. And my nose itches because my nose hairs suck. I I do the little wax in your nose and then now they're like growing again and now I'm itching. So, okay, question number 6. This is an advanced relationship question. Okay? It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad because you got 3 variables and I did not set a constant and everything is words and it's going to take way too long to read that if you do not know what you're doing. But you know what you're doing because you are watching Marky F Baby, and the F is for functions. Okay, 10x minus 5y equals 5z. Okay. So the first thing that I would do is look at the answer choices here. And the answer choices here say if x is greater than 4 and y is less than 3, then z is greater than 5. Okay? In your brain, in your head, look for the if and then look for the then. Okay? Well, it says if x and if y, then z. So given this, you know to write the equation in terms of z. So z equals blah, 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 blah. Okay? So we have the equation like this. And it's actually set to z. It's just put on the other side. But the tip really for this, when you have the z on the right side, is just flip it. Okay? If you flip it, you just get 5z equals 10x minus 5y. We can work it out where we minus 5z and then minus 10x and plus 5y and divide by a negative. We could do it the long way, but doing it the long way, all you need to know is you could flip it, okay? Where 5z is on the left side now. So we're going to simplify. And what can we do to simplify? Well, each term here, this term, and this term can be divided by 5. Shada boom, shada bam, bam, boom. So then that gives us z is equal to, and this is 2x, and this is minus y. Boom. This is the equation that we will be working with. Okay? Z is equal to 2x minus y. Man, once I get big, like a big YouTuber, I am going to invest in the little righty thing, the righty handy dandy thing, because this is ghetto what I'm doing, all right? Doing the whole clicky click, click, clack, clack, okay? So I have z equals 2x minus y, okay? That's the equation that I will be working with. Now let's go ahead and test each statement, okay? So the first one's A, if x is greater than 4. Okay, let's just write it down. X greater than 4. Okay, so what's a number greater than 4? I know. 5. Great. Okay, greater than 4. And y is less than 3. Y is less than 3. Well, what's less than 3? Y equaling 2. Bada boom, bada bam. So let's go ahead and plug that in. So we said x is equaling to 5. So I get z equals 2, 5 minus 2 because 2 is y. And then I simplify. Z equals 10, or we solve, okay? We solve because this is an equation. Sorry if I have been using the wrong terminology. But honestly, for all you math people out there,
Who cares? Okay?
my goal is to make you pass, and you don't need to know the definitions. Okay? Z equals 10 minus 2. Well, then we get z equals 8. And it says here, if all this, then z is greater than 5. Well, that is actually true. 8 is greater than 5. But what is the question asking? The question is asking what is not true. So make sure you have your attention to detail glasses on. Okay? Because this is what you will need on the test. And this is what you also will need when you're an electrician or when you're in the trades. Attention to detail. That will separate you from a great tradesperson to a perfect tradesperson. Okay? Attention to detail. And that goes for anything you do in life. Attention to detail will make everyone and anyone satisfied. Okay? Will make your bosses satisfied. Super happy. All right? I went on a tangent there. Sorry. Okay. Let's go ahead and cross this one out because this is true. We're looking for something that is false. So I am going to erase everything and let's go ahead and test answer choice B. Okay. So I have here, what do I have? Okay. If X is less than 0, so X less than 0. Okay. Let's choose X is equal to -1. Okay. And it says here Y is greater than 2, Y greater than 2, and Y is equal, what's greater than 2? Well, let's go make it 3. All right. So let's go ahead and plug it in our equation here. Z is equal to 2, -1, minus 3. That gives us Z equals -2 minus 3, and Z equals -5. Okay, then Z is negative. Well, Z is in fact negative. So that is true, which makes B the incorrect answer. So let's go ahead and try out answer choice C and see if that works. Okay, are we tracking how to do this? I hope we are. Okay, rewatch, share, and do all that. Okay, because we all want to pass the aptitude test. Okay, if X is greater than 3, X is greater than 3. Okay, I'm going to choose X is equal to 4, and Y is less than 0. Okay, Y is -1, and there is a gnat. Man, the population of the gnats is dying. Okay, they're dying. Okay, Z is equal to 2, 4, and then minus -1. That's going to give us 6 plus 1. Z is equal to 7. And it says here, well, Z is positive. Well, in fact, Z is positive. Okay, that makes answer choice C incorrect. All right, let's go ahead and do the last one. And if I were taking the test and just going through it like this, I would have already I wouldn't even test it. I would just choose D and go. Okay, because we don't have that much time. So I am going to choose a few numbers. So it says here, if X is less than 2, okay, less than 2, I'm going to say less than 2, I'm going to say 1. Okay, and Y is greater than 5, I'm going to say Y is 6. Okay, let's plug it in. We're looking for a positive number. So Z is equal to 2, 1, minus 6. Wait, that's not, oh, that's actually going to make it incorrect, making it right. Okay, I was looking at it for a second like, hold on, that's not right. But attention to detail, okay? Z is equal to 3 minus 6. Z is equal to -3. -3, is that positive? No. And we are looking for the not true statement. So therefore, D is the correct answer. All right. Make sure that you understand this concept and make sure that you are paying attention to what the question is asking. That's very important. That's why I made this answer choice D, so we could test A through D. We could test all of them. Okay.
This will most likely be on the test.
Okay. Question number 7. Okay, so question number 7, we have 4x plus 2y equaling 2z. Okay, so what I would do, again, just like the previous question, I would set this 2z or just move it to the left side. Okay, and then all this stuff, I'm going to move to the right side. So I'm going to get 2z is equal to 4x plus 2y. And then what I'm going to do here now is I am going to divide everything by 2. Okay, dividing everything by 2, that's going to give me z is equaling to 2x plus y. This is just like the previous question, except we have a plus y here, and then we have a minus y on question number 6. So I'm just going to write z equals 2x, and I'm going to put plus y. Okay? So let's go ahead and test each statement. Okay? If x is greater than or equal to 0, and y is less than or equal to 0, then z is positive. Okay? Well, we have to make sure that we know, or we have to make sure that it is always true. Okay? So when I said pick easy numbers, that may or may not always work. Okay? Because I'm going to choose z is equal to I am going to choose x equaling 0 and y equaling 0. Why did I choose those numbers? Because x can be equal to 0, right? This means x greater than or equal to 0, and y can be 0 or less than 0. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and I get 0 plus 0. Z is equal to 0. Okay, that is neither positive or negative. Okay, we can just go ahead and we've already disproved it. All right, we disproved it. But let's go ahead and let's say you chose x equaling, we want a number that's greater than, so I'm going to go 1, and I'm going to use -1 in this case, right? So I'm going to go z is equal to 2, that's a positive 1, positive 1 plus, and then this is -1. And then we have z is equal to 2 minus 1, z is equal to 1. Well, we proved the statement correct by plugging in these numbers. However, it has to be true all the time, okay? So that's why answer choice A is incorrect, because we have it where, well, z is a positive value when we plug in 1 and -1. If we choose other values, we will see that z is negative, therefore making, again, answer choice A incorrect. Okay? So, given x equaling 0 and y equaling 0, the boundary, we can disprove the statement. Okay? That is technically using easy numbers, but one would choose x equaling 1 and y equals -1, maybe, and then they would get a negative number and then choose A and then find out that's incorrect. Well, sucks to suck, okay? But you're watching Mark EF Baby, so you know what to look out for.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead with the next answer choice. And we have if x is less than or equal to -2. So we could choose, okay, less than or equal to -2. I'm going to choose the boundary, which is -2. X equals -2. And then I have y is less than or equal to 0. And I'm just going to choose y is equal to 0. Okay, z is positive. So z is equal to 2. Oops, that's not in parentheses. This will be in parentheses. And I'm going to have plus 0. And I get z is equal to -4 plus 0. Z is equal to -4. And I get a negative number, and that makes answer choice B incorrect. Moving on, I have here if x is greater than or equal to 2, and let me just erase this. If x is greater than or equal to 2, so I am going to choose 2, x equaling 2, and then y is greater than or equal to 0, and I'm going to choose 0, okay? If x is greater than or equal to 2, did I say less than? Remember, this is greater than, okay? Even I mess up my inequality signs, okay? I get confused a little bit. It's like dyslexia or something. It just messes with my brain when I see those. Okay, those don't really mean anything to me in real life, but in mathematics it does. Okay, y equaling 0. Okay, I chose x equaling 2 and y equaling 0. So I get z is equal to 2 plus 0. And I get z is equal to 4 plus 0. Z is equal to 4. And that's a positive number, making C correct. All right. Now let's just test it further. Okay. So greater than or equal to 2. So I'm going to make x equaling 3 and then y equals 1. Okay. Z is equal to 2, 3 plus 1. Z is equal to 6 plus 1. Z is equal to 7. Well, it's increasing in value and increasing it into the positive direction. Okay. Testing one more, x equaling 4, y equaling 2. Or we could just keep it as 1. We don't have to increase the y either. We just make this value 1. Okay. So then we get, let me just erase this over here. And then I get z is equal to 2, and then 4 plus 1, z is equal to 8 plus 1, z is equal to 9. Okay. All right. That proves C. And you know what? My nose is itching so much, I don't feel like doing D. But D is not the right answer. Okay. And if you stuck around for this long, you're going to get the answer choices. So I will put the step-by-step directions of how to get the answer choices right now. That concludes the continuing education portion, all right, for variable relationships. This was my favorite part of the test and will be your favorite part of the test. All right, so guys, please just like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out all of my playlists, share the videos all over the place. I do believe I helped 100 plus people pass their tests. I'm not done yet counting, but I do have many people on my Excel sheet that I am tracking. So if you haven't done so already, please let me know if you have passed and what local you passed, as well as what stood out to you most on the test, so you could help the next person reading the comments pass their test. Because honestly, what you should be worrying about is the interview. That's it. All right? So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Marky Up Baby out. I will see you on the next episode. Bye.